Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have in our bottom left side of Data Sea, spawning as our red Terran player for Team Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Cure. And in the top right here, as our blue Zerg player, opening up with a pool before the hatchery here, it's going to be Serral. Ooh. It's not going to be any type of roach follow-up, at least not immediately, because that gas is a little bit too late for that. Could of course be figured out by this SCV, if the SCV gets to see the main base. I honestly have my doubts that this SCV is going to see anything whatsoever. Let's follow the vision here of Cure actually, first person view. Quickly swapping in between these things, is not going to be seeing any of these links on the map. Sees the Overlord there. Now spots the timing on that hatchery, and let's take a look at the response here. Opened up with a barracks, with a marine, and no first reaper. Oh, this was a CC first, excuse me, I didn't even notice that. Okay, this was CC first, I'm like, well, how is this marine out this late? That makes no sense whatsoever. Usually if you open up with a marine first, with a barracks before command center, the marine would pop at 146. This marine left the barracks at 216 or so, or 218. I was like, hey, that's fairly weird, that's fairly odd. This reactor might actually be in a little bit of trouble. Well, might be. It is going to be in a little bit of trouble here, as this marine is not going to have enough damage output. I'm surprised we're not seeing this depot lower to try and help out that reactor. Felt like a bit of a mistake there. Cure now will have some delayed helium production. SCV is still patrolling this area and is just trying to get an idea as what the follow-up is going to be. Is this going to be a roach follow-up? Did not poke in with the SCV in the main base. Often when an SCV goes into the main base, that's also the last thing that the SCV does in his life, as he ends up dying to a queen or the two queens. But I believe if you patrol this general area at 236 to 250 and you don't see any roaches pop out, you know that you're going to be safe majority of the time. Follow-up is going to be a couple more Hellions, and I'm honestly quite curious to see what else Cure has planned for us, except this factory flying over to a location where it really shouldn't be. Just want to lift that. There's going to be a tech lab on the barracks. It's rather late though, isn't it? Yeah. It's going to be rather late. What just died there? Was that a unit? Must have been the SCV. I guess that was the scouting SCV that just died there. Looked like a Terran unit dying. Viking as the first unit, followed up by a fusion core. Okay, this is a build. This definitely is a build, are there? No third gas being constructed right now. This Overlord potentially could actually get some vision in the main base. And that's the disadvantage of having a fusion core in this specific location. It's gonna pop in here and Serral's gonna be absolutely over the moon with this info. That is huge. That is absolutely huge, seeing that fusion core. It allows you as a Zerg player to delay your spores. And if you delay your spores, it means that the drones are working longer. Also, it means that the drones get to stay with their family a bit longer. You know? You never want to see daddy turn into a spore. Or even worse, turning one of your kids into a spore. It's the worst fate that a Zerg can have. Awful stuff, awful stuff. But now this family can stay together for a little bit longer, and once again, slightly more mineral mining. Because the spores can be delayed by a fair amount compared to like a Banshee opener, or even a Viking into Liberator type of opener. You want earlier spores against that type of stuff. A Roach Warren being constructed here for Serral is going to allow him to, well, defend any type of Hellion attack with a couple of roaches. Did he cancel the link speed? No, he did not. So links as an initial kind of stop against these Hellions, and then roaches perhaps for more of the mid game to try and help out there in case of any type of Hellbat attack. Now we see triple spores being constructed, 524 into the game. Usually we see these things be built a little bit later. Or sorry, a little bit earlier, in case it's Banshee or Liberator. So that Overlord Scout definitely is helping out here. Two more factories on the way. Just a fairly standard mech build, honestly, out of Cure. Like, it's not nothing revolutionary, so I don't want to talk too much about it. I think I just heard a battlecruiser jump. No, I see it jump. There's no armory with this, is there? No, there's no armory, which means that these Hellions are going to stay in Hellion mode. Roaches are out, which means that these Hellions are going to get pushed out relatively easily. I don't think a single drone has gone down. Well, one worker has been killed. No, Serral killed one worker. Sorry, that was the early SCV, of course. Yeah, not a single worker has been killed. This bad boy killed, I think, 2 links. That's it. God, what a terrible, absolutely terrible yield here with that first jump in. Spire on the way already as well. Fort base being constructed. Serral's going to be over the moon with this start. Oi, 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 oi. Absolutely over the moon, actually. Battlecruiser gets pushed back. Second battlecruiser will not be allowed to teleport in because it's going to require another 20 seconds to finish up. At that point, the Spire also will be finished and Corruptors can start. If you jump in, then you need to run back home. And I don't think you can make it in time before the Corruptors catch up with you. Yamato will not be done either, so it's not like you can jump in, try and snipe the Spire and, you know, double Yamato a Spire and pray that everything's going to be okay. Here come the Hellions. They're driving in right now. 8 drones, 10 drones, 11 drones. All getting caught out of position. Pays a hefty fine for that as well. It's not quite because he was speeding. Actually the opposite. He was moving a little bit too slow. This time his drones were moving a bit too slow away from those cars. Perhaps lacking some vision towards the bottom side here. That's the problem if you're playing against a Viking battlecruiser opener, is that spreading overlords is not really allowed because they're going to get taken out by either a Viking or by them battlecruisers. Viking still is alive, will just be patrolling an area or maybe take out this overseer at this point. As these Hellions, once again, coming from the bottom side angle. Ooh, actually 2 groups of Hellions. This is something we don't see that often. Might actually work out once more as these Hellions are moving in right now. 4 workers go down immediately. This Ling is going to get taken out. Cars will get cleaned up eventually. I think Serral did spot that bottom group with the Ling. Sends over the Roaches. Aliens pop in forward. We'll take out 6. Oh, no, 6 were already taken out, so just take out 1 worker. Loses 3 Hellions. That's not a very good trade here for Cure. After that initial good trade, takes a pretty bad trade afterwards. 77 workers here for Serral, who has the Corruptors out, who's getting Overlord speed, plus 1 range as well. We do not have an infestation pit yet. I don't believe so, at least. So this is starting to smell just a little bit like an actual push, an actual Ravager Corruptor push. Fairly often we see Zerg players, they open up with like this Roach, Corruptor, and then eventually transition into Ravager Ling Bane. You have the Ravagers to delay any type of move out, and the Ling Bane to kill bases, to clear run-bys easily, and to kill the Hellbats as well, obviously. But this time around, I actually believe that Serral might be setting up for a bit of an attack. There's double Yamatos available. One is not going to get used yet. Second one is going to get used. Bells get used on the, well, sadly for Serral, the wrong battlecruiser. And 6 more Ravagers get morphed here immediately. We have 11 Corruptors and a crap ton of Roaches on the way right now. Well, 6 more Roaches on the way. Still no Infestation Pit, no Baneling Nest either, no second Evo. This is really starting to feel like a major investment here out of Serral. Starts an Overlord drop as well. So that's going to be either Lynx or Roaches. Looks to me like it's going to be some Lynx here that will be heading in towards the main base. Kind of adding a second layer towards this drop, right? Rather than saying, hey, I'm just going to attack straight up at the front, I also want to drop in towards your main base. That forces a split out of the Terran units. And what are you going to split off? Well, if you're just splitting off Hellions, especially if it's Roaches in the Overlord, it will not be enough. So you need to send either a tank or some Cyclones. Ideally, you want all of those units at the front right now. Tanks are unsieging in the back. Orbital Command in a little bit of trouble, perhaps. Well, a little bit of trouble. It's dead. It's not quite what I want to happen if I'm in a little bit of trouble. Next time my accountant calls me and tells me we're in a little bit of trouble, I'll start checking my pulse immediately, because this looks like a dangerous territory to be in. Overlord's gonna get pushed towards the bottom side, will end up dying as Cyclones get their first kill and see their first use in this game as well. Serral still wants to continue pushing, but I think he has already achieved his goal. That Dropper never really did anything of importance here. Ravagers still believe that they can get some type of trades that will be beneficial for them. Take out 2 depots here. Will at least supply block the opponent. No infestation pit out on the map yet. Somewhat surprising. Second Evo is here right now though, as Yamato cannons are going to connect with them Ravagers. Means that 3 Ravagers will fall. More Lynx are being reproduced, so it seems that Serral wants to kind of transition out of the Ravager style into a more Ling Bane focused style. And with that we also see the infestation pit. A fairly standard decision from a fairly standard player, which is of course what Serral is. Standard as in his playstyle, not his results. He's a unique player in his results. Oh, goes in here. He's gonna get a couple of these tanks down immediately. Corruptors are focusing on the battlecruisers. Not quite sure if they can take him out. One battlecruiser teleports very little. You have the ability to teleport every minute. You use it to teleport 5 meters. Not quite sure if that's the optimal solution to the problem of the chasing Corruptors, especially because there was plenty of turrets here you could have just flown to. Cyclone moving forward right here, will be pulled back. Ravager might end up dying. Good control here on that one Cyclone. Look at that. That bad boy is dealing so much more damage than it ever should have, and also stayed alive much longer than it should have. Actually being somewhat impactful in this fight here. Only 2 SCVs have gone down so far. We now have a Link drop in the main base. But like I said, if it's just going to be Links, Aliens will be capable of taking care of that. If it was Roaches, well, honestly, these 2 Cyclones also would have been plenty to deal with that. We're going to see a forward base flyover for a second time. This time no Ravager committee to say hello to it. No Corruptors either to to spit it down. Serral is continuing to spread creep and really has a kind of a contain here on Cure in a certain way. Like a contain on 4 bases. This is the type of scenario where, in my mind, it would be beneficial for the Zerg player to take both corner bases ASAP. Basically allowing you to start mining from your opponent's base the moment that you can. Get a couple of spine crawlers here on the bottom, get a couple of spine crawlers here. Oh, sorry. Big fight happening, actually. Did not think that Serral was going to go in at that point. Wants to maybe get rid of some of his Ravagers, but is rebuilding Roaches here. Maybe actually thinks that he can break his opponent with continuous Roach Ravager pressure. That's also possible. Would not mind seeing a couple of Vipers being added in. We have a Nidus network, which is uber rare. This Hellion run by is going to throw a wrench in all of Serral's plans, though. Because the next 15 larvae are going to be used on drones now. And they will also spot the Nidus network, which is actually kind of big. If the Nidus comes as a surprise, that's always much better than if it is anticipated. Corruptors get caught out of position a little bit. Well, actually, are just going to be fine, I think. Base gets to stay alive. I was going to say, I think if you can just take both of these corner bases and you start mining from it, especially the gas against the mech player, you're going to be in a great position here if you're Serral. Even if you don't manage to kill your opponent in the next 5 to 6 minutes, which, let's face it, there's a real possibility that might happen. We have 2 Vipers out right now, Pathogen Glands, Neural Parasite, +2 melee as well. No Adrenal Glands yet, but I'm sure that's next in the kind of the priority list that Serral has hanging on his desk. In case of mech, this is the order of the things that I want. Knight is going to go down in the main base. Turrets are being built, but that's a little bit too late. Turrets also don't shoot the ground. Battlecruisers will take care of this, though. In combination with the Cyclones take these buildings down so darn fast. Battlecruisers go for a little bit of a hunting trip, and we'll find this Overseer. There is Overlord speed, so technically Overseer could run away. But Serral decides, well, that wasn't a decision. Incompetence. Accidentally lost his Overseer. It's not going to be the end of the world. If you have 2k minerals and 800 gas in the bank, there are bigger things to worry about. He's gonna get Burrow. Ooh. One of these infestors is gonna get taken out. I was gonna say he's gonna get Burrow and Neural Parasite. He's keeping them at the edge, so he might want to catch the battlecruisers in the act of moving forward. That would be hilarious. I would love that. He's getting 3 infestors right now. If that actually is the play, I would super love it. I've been thinking about this move for years already, of just having 3 infestors per side, because you know the battlecruisers are going to be moving out. And you can see them with your creep, move forward with your infestors, neural them, and then in my mind what you do is you make a farm of spores. Just like 10 spores over here or so, or 8 spores over here, and then you teleport all the battlecruisers over there. And you have another 3 infestors in this location. And then you neural them, and then you let the spores take care of them. Or you can just teleport them in your Corruptors. But I always loved the thought of a spore farm. You know, it's just a good thing. Holy crap, this looks nuclear. Man, the purple gas looks insane. Look at that. Someone put the saturation way up there. Looking like one of my early thumbnails. Holy crap. That's mad. Thor. No ghost yet. Okay, well, we do have a Ghost Academy. 2 more barracks on the way as well. Okay, where are these infestors? If he actually makes the play, I'm going to be so happy. You guys have no clue. Actually retire. Just become a full-time Serral fanboy. Make this part-time gig into a full-time one. Neural Parasite Man is going towards the bottom side right now. Oh! It's just 1 though. It's not quite as exciting, but still exciting enough for me. But no! A fungal? That is way less exciting than what I had planned, my friend. It's gonna get one of them anyway, because you couldn't teleport out because of the fungal. Yeah, fairly mediocre. Fairly mediocre. We now see a neural parasite. I think one of these battlecruisers actually is gonna die against the biles here. Or maybe the Thor could shoot it. Perhaps the Thor, hello? Some target fire? There we go. Some nice target fire out of Serral. The Thor target fire out of Serral is better than the average Thor target fire of some Terrans. You love to see it. This guy is sick. Did kill 2 battlecruisers here. Now we have 2 more neural parasite men coming in. Whoop, whoop. There we go. 1 Thor. Well, actually he's gonna not be in charge. Not gonna be in control of Serral for too long, as the tanks managed to kill the neural parasite boys, the infestors. Corruptors have done their job. Now could perhaps turn into Broodlords if Serral really would want to. Not quite sure if he really wants to though. Is that something that you would want? At this point already? Broodlord is kind of the unit where you've given up, you know? It's a bit like playing golf. You know, you start playing golf when you're not capable of playing other sports anymore. You know, I know that old people pretend that they really like golf, but we all know the truth here. You know, it is a sport if you're not capable of running fast and playing basketball with your mates on the court anymore. You know, it's the same with Broodlords. If you can't deal damage anymore with fast-moving, high-mobility units, you start building Broodlords. Truly the golf of the Zerg race. Not a bad sport to watch, though. They have like on in the background. Underrated, for sure. I'm not trying to bash golf. I think it's a good sport. Just you have to face the reality as well. You know? A couple of spines are going to deal with these Hellions just fine. And a couple of drones go down, but this really isn't the end of the world. Like, at this point, the worker count also is largely irrelevant, and you're really looking at value against value. So if 3 Hellions kill 6 drones, or 4 Hellions kill 8 drones, that's just an even trade. And an even trade Zerg actually is going to be happy with. So yeah, this type of harassment I'm never a huge fan of. Unless you're taking out bases, or if you're taking a good fight and then take out a base for free, that's fine. But like this minor harassment, I don't know. It just doesn't do very much for me. From the Terran side. Ship weapons level 2 is on the way. This is going to be 1 buffed battlecruiser. 26 kills already, but with plus 2 ship weapons, might get 27 and 28 kills. How cool would that be? Command center is going to fly over. No, it's not. Changing direction here. Wants to move towards the right side. Serral is taking the bottom right as well as this base. So taking the closest by bases to cure. But I feel like if he would have done this 6 minutes ago, they could have already been mining for 6 minutes. Now he's kind of in the bad situation where he doesn't have as much control anymore, where Cure is already set up, and Cure can actually deny the right bottom side base. So we're looking almost at a pure split map scenario at this point. And with a pure split map scenario, I'm favoring Terran every single time, every day of the week. Of course, it's a little player dependent, but I think Cure is competent enough to play out a complete split map scenario. The only thing you need to do is have better units lost stab if you get a complete split map. And so far he's doing fantastic when it comes to that. Advanced ballistics coming out as well. We have building armor, armor on the Ghost, which always has the priority, by the way. The reason for that is that the main damage output from the Ghost is not going to be the auto attack in these type of scenarios. You're not going to be fighting against Lynx or Banelings majority of the time. No, you're going to be sniping Ravagers, Infestors, and Broodlords. So having an extra damage upgrade doesn't matter, but having some extra armor against the Broodlings might actually help. So often you see armor being researched first. Whew. No cancel on this hatchery. This is the type of stuff that you're going to regret later on in the game when you have 600 minerals left. You know, it's like, oh, I wish I cancelled my hatchery when I had 4k in the bank. But back then you didn't care quite as much. You're always so careless with your cash. Or at least, very often, players are a bit more careless with their cash when they have loads of it, you know. 10 Zealot run by. Doesn't feel like that big of a deal if you just lose it, if you're floating 8k minerals. But if you have 1200 minerals and you lose 12 Zealots, it's basically your bank gone. So, yeah, not ideal. Upgrades looking good here for the air units, by the way. So Serral definitely kept up with that. This type of defensive rotations with Thors are painful to watch. So you always need to be aware of what's going on. But there's only 4 orbital commands on the map currently for Cure. Very often we see Terran players in this type of scenarios go up to 7, 8, 9. maybe even 10 orbital commands, and it allows them to continuously scan, see where their opponent's units are. I'm sure you have sensor towers, but you still want to know what the composition is as well. So, see a couple of scans go down now. Probably just wanted to know if there was any mining going on here. Ooh, look at that. Brutes are going to clear that one tank that was sitting in the main base. You can deny a base from the main base with a tank. This is the type of stuff that only very few people know. Because they played a massive late game on this map. That's actually kind of sick. I was not aware of that personally. Liberator can do the same thing, of course. This is just a difficult spot to mine from, honest to God. Thors are now moving forward, so Kier's not just keen on taking bases himself, he also wants to take out bases of his opponent. Thors being there does allow some of these brutes to move forward, but ghosts are moving in right now, a couple of snipes going down. Thors also trying to chase these brute lords. That's one hell of a chase. Like a turtle chasing a sloth. Who's faster? I don't know. But sure interesting to watch. A couple of neural parasites going down here without the ghost available, without any tanks to take out them infestors. This is going to be a really good fight here for Serral. Takes somewhat of a cost-efficient fight. These Thors, where are they walking in right now? Well, not quite sure, but they will actually end up dying. Resources lost is actually getting closer. This is one of these situations that you never want if you're a Zerg player. Double Thor drop will take out the left side base, and 17 drones also will end up falling. So, despite some good trades, cost-efficient trades here for Serral, he did lose a fair chunk of mining. It's not the end of the world. He's still floating a solid 4k. Has plenty of larvae as well to spend, so he's just thinking about what he wants to spend it on. Perhaps wants to wait until he can morph 10 more Brood Lords and then go for it. It's a possibility as well. Oh, he tried to hit the sensor tower? Barely can hit the sensor tower. That's hilarious. That guy's just baiting Biles. Couple investors over here. Vipers with it as well. Spork's trying to move forward. Creep needs to be spread in order for them to move even further forward. This orbital is going to get lifted just barely in time. Did not think that was going to happen. Can I be real with you all? Nidus network here is empty. Hasn't seen any real use. Vipers pulling in these liberators, always fun. The spores decide to... A little bit of a spore farm, but not in a position that I would have wanted it. I'm telling you, spore farm over here. Neural the battle cruisers, teleport them into the spore farm. Bang. It's the play of a lifetime. That's instant clip of the week, and you know it. Spines as well coming in here. Feels like Spines would just block the infestors more than you would want to. Nuke is going to hit. Why didn't I hear the nuke sound? That's odd. Because this is going to end up dying. Not even quite sure how. Did the Broodlords kill it? They must have. Thor going back in towards the main base right now. I did not hear the nuke sound. Maybe I'm going wild in the head. Broodlords pushing forward. A large number of Broodlords can be quite scary. Especially with good kinding. I love the way that Dark did this the other week, by the way. So what Dark would do is he would, I think, spawn it. 1 second. Hold that thought. It's looking like it could be a fight here. Serral continues pushing forward right now. It's actually making some progress as well. This is really scary for the Ghost to move into. Okay, Serral's gonna pull back. What I was gonna say is that the other day I saw Dark. He attacked one of his own creep tumors, or maybe a changeling, with the Broodlords. And then continuously kept attacking his own broodlings. And then would just send in the broodlings. And even if they only kill a tank or deal damage to a tank, that is still something that is free damage. Because you're just sending in free unit after free unit after free unit without any risk whatsoever. So you're just continuously attacking your own creep tumor. I think there's 7 seconds on each broodling. And they're darn fast. People underestimate how fast these buggers are. I'm not actually sure what their movement speed is, but I think they outrun a Zealot with charge. It wouldn't surprise me. Ooh. Almost got a burrow on there. That would have been pretty sick. Cure is extremely spread out on this map right now, by the way. Is going to take this base away from Serral. But Serral already mined a significant chunk of gas as well as minerals from here. Odd game. Very odd game. Complete split map scenario. Resources lost is only 7k apart. Nukes are being constructed. What is this called? High-sec auto tracking. I just forgot the name temporarily. Happens to the best. You have an overlord pooping on this base. We're really entering the late game situations right now. Complete split map, infinite sensor towers. Still lacking a bit in the orbital count. We're getting a couple added. 1, 2. That's a starport. Looked like a command center when being zoomed out. Is that double helmet? Yeah, double helmet's moving over here. Could you nuke, technically? I think so, right? Nuke from here down here? Yeah, that's in range. That definitely is in range. I bet Serral would notice immediately, though. This guy's pretty fast. Let's actually take a look at the first person of Serral. It's always interesting to see. Moving forward with this push right now. Very calm, just really looking at one screen. See that? No multitasking going on. Just wants to focus on this one fight. Nuclear launch. Okay, he actually did it. I can't believe it. He actually did the spot just before I said it would happen. That's beautiful. Yeah, this main base is actually in some trouble. Thors can't easily move in there either. But the moment you move in here, you kind of make yourself vulnerable on the right side if there's anything there. Like Hellions, Hellbats, maybe Hellbat tank army could move in. Look how many Brooklings. This is crazy. They have full upgrades as well. Every upgrade except for Adrenal Glands is here. I'd love to see Adrenal Glands still being researched, honestly. Eventually you're gonna build some links. It always happens. It is the standard. It really is just the standard. Ooh, big fungal hitting here. Ghost gets an EMP off on... I think that was some of the Vipers, but this is free pickings here for our good friend Serral. Brutors once again moving forward. We'll take out more tanks. And without tanks here, Infestors are going to be way more powerful. Brootlings are going to be connecting with a lot of these Ghosts. A couple of snipes gonna get queued up. Will not quite work out though. Oh my god, look at the Broodling army. Look at that Broodling army. He's just continuing. He's attacking his own Broodling. Look at that. He just attacked his own Broodling for extra range on them bad boys. That is beautiful stuff. Once again, it's going to hit. Now we'll be trying to target down some of these Ghosts. Great fight here for Serral, who's absolutely destroying this. Resources lost getting closer and closer and closer. This is something you don't see every single day in a TVZ. Seems like Zerg have really figured out how to play this. That is actually insane. Would love for him to attack his own changeling here. I want to see it. I want to see it. It's such a sick move. I can't believe that we hadn't seen this exact move in ever, basically. And then Dark did it, and now it seems like a lot of the other Zergs also are attacking their own changelings or attacking their own creep tumors. Such a cool little innovation so late into the game that it really matters. It actually has a significant impact on the game. When that type of... So, you know, an extra Broodling wave can completely change the outcome of a fight. If it's there in time, of course. Hellbats are going to be taken out here on the left side. Fungal's going to hit 2 Ghosts. EMP is not quite going to connect. The control of Serral with these armies is crazy. Don't forget that we're zoomed out the entire time, so we can see more. And both Serral and Cure can't do that. They're always going to be zoomed in, so you only have limited space on your screen. It's way harder to judge how these fights will go and what the correct moves are. A little bit of a split off here with these Ravagers. We'll take out 2 Thors. So just a little bit too fast for his opponent. 40 workers for the Finnish Zerg player against 68. And usually being up in eco is a good thing, but if you're this late into the game, take a look at the army supply here. 154 against 97. Very favorable here for the Zerg player. Any type of fight that's going to be happening, unless it's terrible, is just going to go so darn well for Zerg. Like, unless he completely messes up. But if you're up 50 army supply, that is huge. That really is huge. Nuke is going to... Wait, where is this even coming from? Ooh. Relatively hidden. I don't think Serral's figuring it out yet. Heard the nuke, but isn't seeing it. Look at that. He's spotting. Isn't finding it. I think he saw it just now. Did he? Did not see it. He's gonna lose a couple of drones here. Only 5, so it's not even worth the nuke. This camera moves freaking crazy fast. Let's look at the first person of Cure as well. It's gonna be taking out this base. Base is relatively useless, I have to admit. It's getting too hot for that Ghost over there. It's getting too hot. Raven is out as well. This is the Maru and Ryang play. I saw Ryang do this a lot, and then I asked him about it. At Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. And he told me that's something that that only him and Maru do. Or at least at that time it was something that only him and Maru did when playing mech. Mech Ghost, they would get a Raven for the anti-armor missile. As well as, of course, for the detection against Infestors. Which is somewhat important. So I'm surprised that not too many other Terrans have introduced it yet. Cure is a smart player, did manage to introduce it. Hive managed to stay alive at 50 HP, by the way. Nice for getting Vipers. We already see a backup hive being constructed though. Resources lost still very, very close. Whew. Broodlord count of 25. 3 more lurkers being... lurkers? 3 more corruptors being produced. Lurkers in the late game also a possibility. Raynor is very keen on playing Broodlord Lurker. He believes that it makes it difficult to push into Broodlord lines if you have Lurkers, and it makes it difficult to snipe Lurkers if you have Broodlords above it. Synergize rather well, according to him. It's probably true to synergize well, but most other Zerg players much prefer playing Mass Broodlord in these type of scenarios. Power's gonna get taken out. Cure should just fly these away, yeah. There we go. A little bit slow there on the command center. It's gonna lose an orbital for no real reason. We'll need to set up shop somewhere else. Might actually end up losing an armory, which means that Hellbats will not be capable of being produced anymore. That's the type of stuff that's really annoying if you're a Terran player. Like losing a tech structure like that. It's like, ugh, to rebuild the armory, really? Is that what I'm gonna have to do? Yep, it is. This army is moving forward at pretty high pace. Ghost count is rather small though. Something to keep in mind. Serral's not paying attention here. He's gonna lose these infestors if he isn't careful. At least get EMP'd once or twice. I think that EMP didn't really hit everything. I think it only hit 3 or 4 of them infestors. Would have hit everything. This could have been somewhat dangerous. Thor's gonna go back home, and with the 2 Hellbats... Oh, actually 2 Hellbats are here as well. Should be capable of clearing that up. Where's that ghost? Where's that ghost? Oh no! Serral! Pretty close. Serral is in time though. Even managed to move away every single spore. Overlords get damaged. Extractor gets damaged, but that's not the end of the world because this extractor is empty already. No gas remaining in there. Both players losing their main base right now as we're heading into a pure, complete base trade scenario. This is mental. 68 workers still for Cure. Surely it is beneficial right now for a Terran player to get rid of some workers. I do not quite see the use of having all these idle workers. Like, what are you going to do with them? Repair? No. You want a way bigger army. Way bigger army. You could add another 30, 40 supply here for practically free. Well, not for free. You need to pay for the supply, but... You could just add 40 supply in your army. Surely having more army is better than less army. Even if it's just going to be like Vikings. I know Vikings aren't very popular, but if you get like 12, 13, 14 Vikings in here, probably would be better than not having them, right? Sure, they're going to get parasitic bombed. What if you spread them out? Definitely maybe snipe a Broodlord or 2. I don't think Vikings is the solution here. I'm just saying that having stuff is better than not having stuff. In my mind, at least. So I'm confused as to why that's not happening here for Cure. Doesn't want to be adding any Thors. Oh, doesn't have armories. Right, also can't build Thors with armories. Keep forgetting that. Armory is such an important structure actually for Terran. Gets the upgrades, get the Thor, get the mines to be invisible. Allows you to turn Hellions into Hellbats. And water into wine. No, that's not true. There's no tech building that allows that. I feel like there must have been in like Settlers or something, or Age of Empires. Used to play Settlers. It was the first RTS. It wasn't really an RTS. The first strategy game, I guess, that I really played. Like lots of weird things. You had to make like blacksmiths and stuff. Making freaking gold. It's a very complicated game that was also rather buggy. Sometimes your workers would just stop working. They would start striking. No one really knew why. Very slow game as well. One game could last like 4 hours. One more game before dinner, Mom? Yeah, my mom never really allowed that type of stuff. She wasn't easily tricked. Rather than saying one more game, she just allowed me 15 more minutes. That's why I quit playing Settlers. This is one hell of an army. 29 brutes. 11 infestors. 4 vipers. What do we have on the other side? 12 Thors. 10 ghosts. 3 liberators. 3 tanks. What if both players don't want to attack into one another? That's what we call a draw. I wonder who's favored in this type of scenario. I want to say the Terran, but that's just based on how I usually see these fights happen. I'm not sure if these fights are supposed to be disfavorable for Terran. Like, what is the ultimate solution? Anti-armor missile? Ooh, it's gonna hit big. Look at that. Buff! There's like 10, 12 Broodlords that are hit there. That's mad. That's actually mad. Hellbats are going to be taking out this this freaking hatchery. Hatchery's going to die. That's so sick. SCVs are here to repair, or what are they doing in this army? I'm never so sure what these idiots are doing. This could last for a little longer if neither player wants to attack. I really believe that attacking your own creep tumors, the creep tumors cost energy, so they're free, and then start attacking your broodlings is probably the play here now. Even if you just deal 10 damage to a Thor every time you do it, it is better than idling and doing nothing. Like, it just has to be. Like, 10 damage on a Thor, if you do that 100 times, you force your opponent to attack into you eventually. Changelings are going to be sent out. You could also do it on a Changeling. You could even send the Changeling further forward. Here, now he did it on an SCV. He's going to deal some damage on these... Yeah, see? On the Hellbats. And a little bit on the Ghost. Sadly, both Ghost and Hellbats get healed by Medivacs. But if you hit a tank or a Thor, it's actually going to be super beneficial for you. Like, eventually they'll run out of money. Yeah, he attacked his own creep tumor. He did it. The madman. Now attack. Whoop. Keep going. Keep going there, buddy. Beautiful stuff. Sends in a wave to kind of help himself as well move forward with the brutes after. That's really the main purpose. It's not even to just deal damage over time. Oop. Of course, that's also important, but it also just helps you a lot. Ooh, ooh. Big fungals, another big anti-armor missile here is going to be hitting. That's like literally like 15 freaking Broodlords. Come on, kill another creep tumor. I want to see it. The thing that it does, and this is what you really need to realize, is that... Oh, oh, oh. This is a good fight here. Very good start of a fight for Cure. Newcastle's coming down. The thing you need to realize is that it's not even necessarily the damage, but it's the thought that you can continuously send out free units that damage your opponent's units that require money to be repaired. Which means that if the Terran idles... Oh, another anti-armor! This is huge. Huge anti-armor. If the Terran idles, eventually he will die. So the Terran will be forced to attack into you. So that is the one thing that it does do. You'll always be forced as a Terran to attack into a Zerg because of that move. There's no way around it. I'm not quite sure why Serral decides to attack right now while the anti-armor missile is still active. Moving back these spores. He's microing individual spores while having a 8.1k bank. He's actually mental. So careful when it comes to these things. A couple of Banes in the back here as well, of course. They want to connect eventually with some of them Ghost if they can. Once again, spores moving forward. Tanks also going in right now. There's a Changeling in here. Yeah, look at this guy. Freaking Bond. Behind enemy lines, man. Holy crap. Big Blinding Cloud is going to hit. Couple of snipes. Will not quite connect. Decent fight once again here for Serral. Microbial Shroud doesn't work on air units. I'm not quite sure why that was there. Maybe to save queens or something. One Thor is going to get taken over. Gets taken out immediately as well. Great fight once again for Serral. We now have a completely tied up units lost tab. And look at this. The gas. The gas is gone. And you know what this gas is? That was the 2k gas that was mined from here. Imagine minus 2k on Serral's gas and plus 2k on Cure's gas. It would be 3k against 3k gas. So Serral mining that 1500, or sorry, the 1000 gas from each extractor is going to be hugely influential in this game. Hugely influential. There is a very good chance that Cure is going to run out of gas. Way before Serral will, and way before his mineral bank is going to run out. Spores once again moving forward. Bit of a rotation here coming out of Serral. SCV is going to get taken out. Spores attack the Vikings. The Spores move back bit by bit. Ooh, Overseer gets taken out. I think a Viper also died there. I could be wrong. How many Vipers have died? 5 Vipers have come down. Holy crap, look at this unit's lost tab. That's a lot of units dead. Oh, Thor's gonna get one shot. Ooh, Broodlings are out right now. Another Fungal's going to hit. And just like that. Serral's absolutely out-controlling his opponent here. Cure just doesn't have an idea on how to push forward. The one thing that could happen though is that eventually Serral runs out of space, right? It started over here. He's been pushed back to this general area right now. Serral eventually is going to run out of space. I guess pushing up ramps is going to be a little bit hard though. That's no fun, that's for sure. Holy crap, there's a lot of brutes. 32 brutes. 65 to 63. Cure's getting proper blasted. Proper blasted right now. It still only takes one fight though, but the fight needs to happen soon because the gas bank is empty. There's only 66 gas remaining on the side of Cure that he can mine. It's like a Thor. He can build one more Thor, that's it. Period. After that, it's adios, my friend. The units you're going to be building is Hellions and Marines. Probably wishes he had +3 attack right now. Sometimes you see these late game Marine transitions. I guess they wouldn't work here against 32 brutes. Definitely would not work. Couple of scans forward once again. Still a vision game as well, of course. That one changeling that Serral had for a while was super useful too. Don't forget about that. It did so much in knowing how to rotate, knowing where the ghosts are, knowing where the Thors are set up. Because now Serral's actually kind of struggling getting any damage done. Need some Broodlings in there. Don't forget that Terran practically has map hack in these scenarios with the constant scanning. I mean, I think if you have like what, 7, 8 orbitals, you can technically consistently scan one area. There's no Raven in this army anymore. I don't think we're going to see one rebuild. That's a dead Thor. That's a dead Thor. Look at that. Blighting Cloud. Oh, dead Thor as well as a medevac being taken out. Broodlings taking out one of these tanks as well. Or more the splash of the tanks that is taking out the other tanks. Cure's just getting absolutely destroyed here in these fights. He's taking out 3-4 supply. Loses 20-25. The control out of Serral is insane. This is actually crazy. He's completely destroying his opponent there. Here we go. More abducts coming in as well. Oi, 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 oi. Thor's falling like flies here. 19 workers remaining. He's gonna have an army supply of 180. This is unbelievable. This is over. This game is over. The Cure is dead. He's lost the game. Perhaps he doesn't know it yet himself, but here we go. Neural Parasites are gonna be hitting. Broodlings taking out the tanks. Liberator actually destroying all these infestors. This was a really bad fight here for Serral cost efficiency wise. But because before it was completely fine, and because of that added gas bank that he has, he probably will still be winning this game. Needs to be a little bit careful because he wanted to finish the game here. He pulled the trigger to finish the game. He lost his patience for a millisecond, and it cost him in a big way. And now he's probably a little bit afraid again. Don't forget that Zerg also has the better kind of mineral sink in these scenarios usually. Although Ling against Hellion is favorable for the Hellion. But against Thors, Lings are great. They're at least viable. But against Broodlords, Hellions are definitely not viable. 10 Hellions being produced at the same time. And yeah, there's only really 3 anti-air units. Or 8 anti-air units. 2 Liberators, 3 Ghosts, and 3 Thors as well. Broodlord count is still at 19. Yeah, I mean, you can just individually target down units right here. Thor by Thor, Ghost by Ghost, Lip by Lip. And brick by brick, Cure's building. His late game gets torn down here. Yeah, he's dead. I mean, he doesn't have any anti-air anymore, and he only has minerals. The only way that he can win right now is if he clears all the creep and then starts building turrets underneath the Broodlords. Serral continuously commands the Broodlords around so they don't shoot the turret, and then loses every Broodlord to the turret. Then the Hellions win in a base trade against the Lynx or something like that. It's literally the only way that Cure can win. I'm not sure why he's still in. He's actually going to try the base trade. That would be a little bit ridiculous. He's actually going to try it. Okay, this is silly, no? The thing is that Serral doesn't know how far ahead he is. He's really afraid, especially after that last fight where he completely ruined it. Or almost completely ruined it. He's going to be real darn careful here. More Queens in production. Oh, Queen is a great mineral sink as well, by the way. Underrated mineral sink in the late game. Holy crap, these units are strong. Very tanky, can transfuse. Useful unit to have. Look how many Hellions. This is 20 Hellions, 7 Hellbats. Morph them into Hellbats, let's go. Brrr. Look at this. Queen versus Helvets here. They're just memeing. Sometimes I see these videos on YouTube, like 10,000 Ultralists against 50,000 Hellbats. And this is what they're doing right now. Like 35 Queens against 27 Hellbats. Fully upgraded 333. There's some epic music playing under it. I'm a fan. Well, I'm not a fan, but sometimes I still end up watching these videos. I'm not sure why I do it. I'm really not interested in watching 3,500 Archons fight 10,000 Banelings, but I'm like, oh, actually kind of curious who wins that. It's the Archons. 3,500 Archons against 10k Banelings. Fix that for you guys. Don't worry about it. Helbets are also gonna die here. I'm not quite sure why we're still in this game. He literally has one unit of anti-air. Is this some type of meme, no? Like, am I just not understanding it, or like, why are we still here? You could leave like half the Broodlords at home, move half of them across the map. Cure is aware of this as well. It's just Serral isn't, so Serral won't do it yet. Maybe Cure wants to ask for a draw. 40 Hellions. He's gonna split them 30 towards the bottom side. What are we watching? This is insane. It was such a sick game. I can't believe it's gonna end like this. I guess he's staying in. There's some grit, I guess, but it really is over. Surely he knows it as well. Okay, here we go. Oh, Broodlord's here as well. Yeah, GG, right? I mean, there's no win condition for the Terran. Waiting for Serral to get a stroke or something. What is this? How does he have 400 APM currently? Literally nothing is happening. It kicked. Serral just tapped out. Look at that! Here's that changed his music. He went to 0 APM. Oh, he's dropping mules to steal minerals. He's not gonna get home with them, but at least Serral won't be able to pick up these minerals. This is not co-op or something, where if you drop minerals, you can pick them up again. My name is Donny Vermillion, and I heard that the lava might be rising soon. Why would they be doing it? Why would they stay in? He's gotta be memeing, no? Maybe he's just so upset. And watching cars drive relaxes him. But he's still playing. GG. Thank the Lord. What a weird way to end this rather interesting game, honestly. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, despite the, quite frankly, odd ending. And the real deciding factor in that game really was the 2k gas that Serral mined and that Cure didn't on that right side base. Where was it? Over here. Really made a big difference. Big difference. All right. I'll see you all next time, hopefully, and bye-bye.